Scott, I think I've got it. I think I've cracked the algorithm to connect the flux capacitor to the Timewarp Turbocharger to make time travel possible. 1984, here I come! But wait, what do I do? Who do I talk to? Where do I go?
Hi, I'm Heather Hage. Welcome to the Technology Transfer Office.
Hi, I'm Dr. Elise Silverstone, the chair of the Department of Time Engineering at SUNY Hill Valley, and I've connected the flux capacitor to the Timewarp Turbocharger by laying the functional algorithms of the time-space continuum to reverse the temporal linkage.
Wow, I'm so glad you came in to see me. We can absolutely help you to evaluate this invention, determine if the university should patent it, and connect you with industry partners who can turn it into a product.
That's great. I was hoping to find someone who can help me. Obviously, I'm a brilliant scientist, but I really don't know anything about patents and licensing. It's not like I'm a lawyer or something.
Well, you came to the right place. We're not brilliant scientists, but we know IP and licensing inside and out. Let's get started. First, let me help you complete this new technology disclosure. This is the foundational document that our office uses to establish a case file for your project. This will be assigned a case number and will ensure that your case is actively advanced by tracking it through Intium, our case management system. First, tell me, did you develop your technology while working on campus?
Yes, I was in the lab.
Okay, and were you working on a sponsored project?
Yes, I have an active grant from the Department of Energy. I figured out the algorithm on my own, but I have a graduate student working as a research assistant on the project who carry out many of the experiments. I would like to list her as an inventor, as I would in any publication.
Well, let me caution you that the laws of inventorship are very different than the norms of scholarly publications, but we'll come back to that. Tell me, have you presented a poster, published, or otherwise disclosed this work to anyone outside the lab?
I have a draft manuscript, but I have not yet submitted it or shared it with anyone. You are the only person outside the lab that I have talked to about it.
Okay, will you please email me a copy of the manuscript? This will help us understand your technology. But I'm so glad you came here first. Making a public disclosure of your discovery prior to disclosing it to us could have prevented us from patenting it.
Done. I'm so glad I came to you. I know for a fact that nobody else in the world has an algorithm that connects the flux capacitor to the Timewarp Turbocharger that makes time travel possible. So let's get my invention patented.
I'm very grateful for your enthusiasm, but the patenting process can be a complex and costly endeavor. First, let me help you understand how we make decisions. I'd like the opportunity to evaluate your technology a little further. The Research Foundation provides my staff with access to proprietary tools and resources in a technology transfer toolbox that we can use to evaluate the patentability and marketability of your invention. The patent process can be costly and time-intensive, so I hope you can understand why we must evaluate your discovery before we move forward, even though you're certain of its novelty.
But what are you evaluating? This is the best thing since sliced bread.
I understand, but you must know that even the most astounding inventions have a long road between the lab and the marketplace. Your project is no doubt a breakthrough, but it's not a product that can be sold today. It's a concept. That concept must be reduced to practice, tested in live environments, felt and explored by customers, and ensured to work properly before it can be sold. By working through this process with us, we can help you gain critical insights that inform the direction of your research toward practical applications. We'll start by evaluating patentability. Only inventions that have utility, are novel, and non-obvious are eligible for patent protection. So my team will use the RF's toolbox to research existing patents, publications, and other information in the public domain to ensure that your technology meets these legal standards. Then we will look at marketability, determining whether there is market demand for your technology, and if so, who might be interested in it. Most technology requires strong market demand to make a successful product. In other words, we want to make what people want to buy, not just sell what we know how to make. Does that make sense?
Okay, I understand, but let me know what you find out.
You got it. Hey, Carolyn.
Hi.
I just did an intake of a new technology disclosure from Dr. Silverstone in the Time Engineering Department at SUNY Hill Valley. I'm not quite sure what it does yet, but she's really excited that it's a major breakthrough. I'll send it to Christina to create a case file in Intium. Can you start the evaluation process? Dr. Silverstone has a draft manuscript ready to submit for publication, so we have to move fast to decide whether to patent it before the work is public.
Okay, sure. Let me review the case file to get an understanding of her technology. Then I'll start the evaluation process, looking at both the patentability and the marketability of her invention. I'll start with the RF's Technology Transfer Toolbox, and I'll access Innovation Queue. This will give me a quick assessment of whether or not her technology is patentable. Then we'll access market reports from Frost & Sullivan that will help us understand the time machine market. Frost & Sullivan's reports will help us understand the size of the time machine market, what the pains current time machine manufacturers face, the regulatory hurdles associated with bringing a time machine to market, and whether or not there's a customer base that wants a time machine, and other pieces of information that we'll use to inform our overall intellectual property protection and commercialization strategy for Dr. Silverstone's invention.
Great, thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Well, Dr. Silverstone, we've completed our internal evaluation of your technology, and we have some great news. Based on our analysis, it appears that your technology is both patentable and marketable. Did you know that your technology will enable time travelers to reach 1984 in half the time of existing time travel products? And there's a company in Buffalo called MJ Fox that makes time travel machines that is in desperate need of your technology. They lost 2 scientists time traveling with their existing flux capacitor, and the Time Travel Administration shut down their facility.
No way.
Let's get to work on your patent, and then we'll go talk to MJ Fox.
You mentioned that the patent process can be costly. I have no discretionary money to invest in patenting my discovery. How much will it cost?
Well, the cost of patenting is highly variable. To file a utility application generally costs, on average, around $10,000. To move it through the process to get a patent issued can cost at least another $15,000. And the process will take at least 3 years.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Does your office help with any of these expenses?
Well, in some cases, we can use internal resources to file and prosecute applications. But in most cases, we use expert outside attorneys who know both patent law and are formally trained in the appropriate scientific discipline. We do have a modest patent budget, but to manage it effectively and serve the greatest number of faculty inventors, we protect only the most promising inventions. Yours is unique in that regard, and that is why we are investing in it.
So what's next?
Well, we will want to prepare a patent that is as broad as possible. In our market research, we found that your technology fits squarely in the time travel sector in the devices subsector. We suspect MJ Fox will be interested, but we have to plan other potential applications as well. We have an outside patent attorney at Emmett Brown & Associates right here in Hill Valley who specializes in this discipline. He will help us craft a patent application with broad claims that will meet the United States Patent and Trademark Office's very high standards.
Yikes, this sounds expensive.
Well, we have strategies to deal with that. We are going to do our best to shift those expenses downstream and use a well-known tactic known as a provisional patent application, which is an inexpensive mechanism to protect your invention for 1 year while we do some customer discovery to find out if we should keep pursuing it. But I want to make sure you understand that if we are able to form a partnership with a company to make your technology into a product, the university will recover its patent expenses from any royalties we might receive before you receive a portion of the royalty.
So you will advance all of the funds necessary to patent my device and get reimbursed later if we receive royalties.
Exactly.
But you'll manage all of the patenting and licensing process for me?
Yes.
That sounds reasonable. So let's file the provisional. But what the heck is a customer discovery?
Okay, Dr. Silverstone, our evaluation process indicated that the best fit for your technology is in the time travel device market, and that our primary target is MJ Fox in Buffalo. Now we have to do some outreach to see if MJ Fox or others are interested.
Why wouldn't they be interested? This thing is awesome.
I know that, and you know that, but we have to be open to what MJ Fox has to say. I have a contact there who will meet with us and give us some feedback.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Matthew J. Fox, but you can call me Matt.
Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. This is Dr. Silverstone, and she is the chair of time engineering at SUNY Hill Valley. She's been working on a project in which we think you might be interested.
Wow, I'm all ears. I don't know if you know this, but we lost 2 of our key scientists to relativity. And because of that, the TTA shut down our entire operation. So we really need to solve this challenge, or else we have to close the doors on our entire operation.
And that's exactly why we're here. They're talking about science.
Wow, this might really solve our technical problem. Let me introduce you to my Chief Technology Officer.
Great!
Thank you so much for introducing me to Dr. Silverstone and her technology. I'm really excited by the opportunity to work with SUNY Hill Valley, and I'm really excited about this partnership. I don't know if you know this, but I'm an alumni of SUNY Hill Valley, so this just warms my heart.
I had no idea. That makes me so happy.
So I was taking a look at the license agreement that you sent over a couple of weeks ago, and I
Great.
hope we can go through the agreement term by term, because I think I have a little concern with some of the things that SUNY Hill Valley is requiring MJ Fox agreed to.
Okay, sounds great.
Where do you want to start?
Well, maybe just go over for a second what we put into this agreement so you can understand from our perspective what's important to us and why we structured it the way we did. So this is really the fundamental document that will give MJ Fox access to the technology that Dr. Silverstone developed at Hill Valley. The first thing that we're concerned about as a university with only a modest patent budget is that we can rely upon you to absorb the cost of patenting her technology. We want you to have the ability to influence the direction that we take in patenting that technology so that it suits your market needs. But because we really can't afford to maintain the patent applications, the most important thing to us is that we can pass those things on to you. The other things that we included in there include royalties. At SUNY Hill Valley, we share with our inventors 40 to 45% of the revenue that comes in from licensing their inventions.
Wow.
It provides a great incentive for our faculty members to engage in this process. But that's the other piece of the consideration, so to speak, that goes into this agreement. So the way that we structured it at the outset is that when we execute this agreement, MJ Fox would pay over to SUNY Hill Valley through our research foundation a fee of $10,000, and we would use that to offset some of the expenses that went into the development of this project, and then 45% of that will go to Dr. Silverstone individually as an incentive and a reward for her service in creating this invention that has value to the public. From there on out, we're suggesting that MJ Fox would pay us $10,000 per year in annual minimum royalties, ensuring that the university and Dr. Silverstone will receive at least that amount every year that our partnership continues. Additionally, we've added in a 3% royalty on net sales, meaning as you have market success and you're making sales of a product that incorporates our technology, you will pay 3% of that total sale back to the university, and we would then share that with Dr. Silverstone. So that's the basic structure. Tell me how that sits with you.
Well, after taking a look at those terms, I met with my CFO, and I don't know if you saw the news lately, but the TTA recently shut our operation down because we had such problems with our time traveler, and that's what we're hoping Dr. Silverstone's technology can help solve for us. So I'm more concerned right now about keeping the lights on and paying the current employees that I have working for us now. So I don't think that after crunching the numbers with my CFO, that providing those upfront fees right now at the license signing and also obligating us to pay a minimum annual royalty when we're not going to be selling, I know we're not going to be selling any of these products until probably year 3, that just doesn't sit with us financially.
So talk to me a little bit about that. If you can't get this to the market until year 3, is that because you're going to be making an investment in the technology internally? Are there regulatory issues you have to be concerned with? Explain that to me a little bit.
Yes, the answer to all of those questions is yes. We have a huge investment opportunity with this technology. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the development and commercialization plan that we attached to the end of the license agreement that you sent over, but if you look there, it shows what types of milestones and what the steps are that we're going to need to take in order to ensure that we're fully complying with all the regulatory requirements that we need to be beholden to in order to introduce a time travel technology into the market. And also, we're going to have to go talk to our investors and probably go to the bank to get a line of credit to support us moving this project along.
I did see that in there. It looks like you're going to have to spend somewhere around $3 million just to get our technology integrated into your product line. Is that right?
Yeah, that's our projection right now, so I think that's a safe estimate of what it's going to take to commercialize and move this project along down the road to development.
Okay, I think we can be a little bit creative and figure out how to get to a win-win situation for both of us. If you'll commit to picking up our patent expenses, reimbursing us for the small amount that we've spent so far securing the provisional patent application, and then agree to assume those costs going forward so we don't have any additional out-of-pocket expenses, how about if we push off the $10,000 initiation fee and the annual minimum royalties for that initial period of 3 years that you need to get our technology integrated into your product, and you're making a $3 million investment to prove the viability of our technology. So what if we make your first royalty payment due when you receive that regulatory approval from the TTA to introduce our product to market? Same $10,000 fee, just pushed out to year 3 when you get the regulatory approval. Will that work?
Wow, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, if we do that, then in exchange, I'd like to ask that we increase the downstream royalty. Again, that's based on success. So when you're actually making a sale of our technology, you know that it works and you're getting it into the hands of a customer. Initially, we asked for 3%. How about we move that up to 5%?
That sounds reasonable too.
Okay, we have a couple other things to work out: indemnification, insurance, some things that the lawyers can probably work out. But it sounds like we have a deal on the finances.
Yeah, this sounds great. I can't believe how easy it was working with SUNY Hill Valley.
We feel the same. We're really happy to be starting this collaboration with MJ Fox, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Wow, we have a deal.
Dr. Silverstone, it's hard to believe it's been 3 years since we first sat down together to evaluate the patentability and marketability of your invention and then forge this successful partnership with MJ Fox. As you know, MJ Fox has completed a successful technology integration and product development effort, and I am pleased to report that MJ Fox has received regulatory approval to reopen its time travel mission using our technology. Because of that, MJ Fox has paid its first royalty to the RF by way of a $10,000 milestone payment. Therefore, I am happy to present you with this royalty check for $4,500, representing 45% of the net royalty we received from MJ Fox.
Wow, thank you. But I thought you were going to deduct all of the patent expenses first.
Fortunately, in our negotiations with MJ Fox, Matt was willing to assume direct responsibility for our patent expenses because we gave MJ Fox some time to implement the technology before paying us royalties. So we had no expenses to be deducted from the gross royalty before distributing these royalties to you.
Wow, thank you so much. I am happy to share also with you that MJ Fox has asked my team to explore another technical challenge. We've just developed a scope of work, and we are working with our sponsored programs office on a budget to submit to MJ Fox next week.
That's wonderful news. As a preferred partner, MJ Fox may be interested in some of the RF's new industry-sponsored research models that can simplify and streamline the negotiations process and ensure that any IP developed in the course of the project can easily be transitioned to MJ Fox for practical application. It's been a pleasure working with you, Dr. Silverstone, and we will look forward to continuing to support your collaboration with MJ Fox.
I sure am glad I came to the Technology Transfer Office for help.